Well, y'all, it's Thursday. It's my day to get out and about here, and I don't know. We might should have stayed home, but we ought to be all right. It's we're getting some of that nasty ice and freezing rain here in Virginia now, so yeah, man. It's this main road ain't too bad, but some of the side roads and stuff where I'm at back in is they pretty rough. And I got four-wheel drive, but y'all know the way it is. If you got four-wheel drive and y'all in the snowy, wintry areas, y'all know that four-wheel drive don't mean much when it's ice. I mean, it don't matter if you're working with six-wheel drive. You just got more wheels spinning, basically. But I think we should be all right. But we're gonna head to our normal stops, and I'll update you. All right, y'all. We might be in a little bit of luck here. It looks like here on the cart they rolled out earlier, got 2 boxes of 9mm 250 rounds. I'm definitely gonna grab at least one. Got to see how much these are, but I'm gonna grab 2 if they'll let me. Nobody's out here at the gun barn right this second. I gotta go hunt somebody down, but they also got some 22 LR over there. You can see that. I'm gonna get those, a couple boxes of those for sure. Then we got the turkey loads, and then over here again also was got some 45-70. I don't have anything to shoot that, but that's pretty nice. But I'm gonna definitely check on these 9mm, see what we got. They got the ammo cans in stock. You can see theirs are $11.99. Got green, black, and tan. So that's pretty nice. Still got a nice selection of guns going on here. 22 revolvers. Got the Skies there. Got a video coming up about these Skies, so y'all stay tuned, check that out if you're interested. And over here, got their nice 9mm still. The EZs. Right here is a Kimber. I'm really tempted to buy $6.99 for that Kimber 1911, but there's been some things about some ex-Kimber head honchos that I ain't too happy about hearing, so we're gonna hold off on that. If it was been that Rock Island one, I'd have probably picked it up. Those things go for about a little under 450 bucks, but the shotgun that I'm wanting to order is actually out of stock again on the site, of course. I waited a little bit too long, so we're gonna have to get back on the list for that, but see if I can find out how much this ammo is, and then I'll get back with y'all. All right, guys, I didn't find the price check, but I've opened up this box. This ain't what I thought it was. I thought this was some bulk packs, but these are those polymer hybrid type rounds. I'm sure they more than I'm about to spend on these things. These polymer hybrid type of things are usually more expensive than what they're worth, but I'm gonna check on it anyway. If I can get them for regular 9mm price, I'll probably pick them up. Well, so much for spot number 2, Dunham's. You see, they didn't even open today. See that? Looks like their gate thing is open, but I don't think they open at all right now. So there you go. All right, y'all. I made it back in one piece from that mess out there. It's nasty out there for sure. That ice, man. That ice ain't no fun. I don't mind a little bit of snow. A little bit of snow. Let me emphasize that. But I don't want none of this ice, man. It's a mess. It's like I was saying on driving out. It don't matter 4-wheel drive, 6-wheel drive, however many wheels you got driving. If it's ice, you spinning that many wheels, however many's pulling is how many you spinning. And then the worst part, of course, if anybody who lives in where you get any kind of winter weather, y'all know, man, the worst part's the braking. Trying to stop in this mess. You just gotta go so slow and get so far behind that it ain't no fun. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, y'all seen what I got. Seen where I stopped. I also went by Walmart after I seen Dunham's was closed. Excuse me, and they didn't have nothing again as usual. I think my Walmart's just done, to be honest with you. And then I stopped by my gun shop and I picked up a couple little things. I didn't want to mess with that camera too much driving down these icy roads. But anyhow, Rural King was our first stop, of course. We didn't pick up a whole lot, as you can see. I can't really call this a score by any means. I mean, I could call it a score, but it really ain't. And then I can sit here and pretend that I'm gonna give you a bunch of tips and advice on finding it. But what I've said in the past is about all there is to it. There ain't no real tips on finding ammo. There ain't really no tricks. There ain't nothing to it, man. You just gotta, if they got it, they got it. If they don't, they don't. That's just the bottom line. And it's a matter of how much you're willing to pay for it. I mean, so there ain't no secret to finding ammo, period. And you know, I can make you a clickbait thumbnail with a stack of ammo from back at that 2019, but I mean, what's the point in that? But all right, so anyway, we got a little bit of stuff today. As y'all saw in Rural King, they had a couple 250 round boxes of 9mm sitting there. I thought those were bulk packed until I got reading on the box. Then I busted one open, and sure enough, they were defensive ammo, which they're 25 round boxes, so that ain't bad for defensive ammo. And this price wasn't too bad on defensive ammo. These were $15.97 a box for 25, so that's 63 cents a box for defensive ammo. That's really not bad at all. And these are those, I've never shot these, but these are those matrix they call them. They're a copper polymer blended projectile in them. It's basically ground up copper polymer fused and science laboratoried together to make your projectile. It's supposed to be pretty good. I've heard good stuff about some of these. They kind of built like the Hornady Extreme Defenders. They're a solid projectile. But they got these little flutes around them that's supposed to, as you spin, and it's supposed to create more hydraulic damage to make your wound cavity. So, you know, more damage to fluid filled tissue and whatnot on it. But yeah, I never tried them, so I figured I'd just pick up a couple boxes. I try to, y'all know, like I said before, I'm not on any kind of active ammo hunt. I just like to see what's out there, and I like to try to replace what I shoot. And I shot a bunch of ammo yesterday. I got several vids I got to get edited up and post. Went through 150 rounds of 9 probably, and a lot of 22 out there. So yeah, just replace a little bit, and I got to get them, like I said, I'll get those edited up, probably start putting them up tomorrow. Had a good time yesterday though, man. It was nice weather out there. I'm glad I went, because yeah, this nastiness today. But anyway, we got 2 boxes of those, like I say, 63 cents a round on those. Then they had this Norma 22 LR sitting up there. These are 50 round boxes, of course, 40 grain, just 40 grain round those. These weren't that cheap either. They were $7.99, so that's 15 cents a round on these things. So yeah, that's expensive for 22, but I mean, it ain't near nothing like you see. And plus, I actually like shooting this round nose. It's basically like well, hell, if you don't pour them all out, it's just a lead round nose 40 grain projectile. And ain't no wax coating. It might have a little bit of something on it, but these seem to feed pretty good. Yeah, it is a little wax coated. These seem to feed in everything, man. Even when you got some 22s that are finicky with certain types of ammo, you don't really ever have. These are like the old, I think it was Remington, the Thunderbolts in the green box, 500 round boxes. I always liked shooting those because I never had any issues shooting those. And these look like to be built the same. Plus, Normal's you always pay a little bit extra for Norma, so I ain't complaining too bad at 15 cents a round on these 22s. I didn't really need them, but just replacing, like I said, I shot a bunch yesterday, so replacing a little what I shot. But anyway, I got 2 boxes of those, as y'all saw and as you see there. Then we grabbed another box of this turkey load, this 1300 velocity stuff. It was I think $1.50, yeah, $1.50 a shell again. So expensive for shotgun ammo, but it's good ammo, high velocity, 3-inch, also 3-inch. Plus they're copper plated lead. So once I finally do get a shotgun, and I was pissed off that last night about that. I know I've mentioned several times I'm gonna buy I was getting ready to order this bullpup Panzer bullpup shotgun, man. I come home last night from the range, went online, getting ready to order it, and it was out of stock, man. After it was in stock all week, I should have just went ahead and done it, but I was holding off till yesterday just for money, budget reasons and whatnot. But every time, man, I get it's happened 2 or 3 times. It happened on that barkeep, now it's happened on this 12 gauge. So I'm back on the list, hopefully a week, maybe 2, and then I can order it again. But anyway, that's just more ammo in anticipation of that thing, because I know I'm going to shoot several rounds. So that's what we got from Rural King. We got the 2 boxes of 9, we got the 2 boxes of 22 LR, and then we got those number 6 12 gauge, 3-inch 12 gauge shells. Dunham's, y'all saw, was closed due to power outages. I don't know if they really were. Well, that's what it was. I showed y'all it was closed, but then I parked and went up to the door, and the note on the door said closed for power outage. And mighty funny, they were the only ones in the whole area with a power outage, so who knows if it's true or not, or somebody was just too lazy to get out in the ice and open the place. But anyway, we passed there. Like I said, went to Walmart, had nothing at all. And then on the way home, I stopped in at my gun shop again. I was actually going to try to grab another box or 2 of those Hornady 22 Magnums from last week, because I shot some of those yesterday too out on the range testing out the barkeep. They were out of those, but they did have pretty decent on these Cellier and below 300 blackouts, 147 grain, which is a nice medium weight on a 300 blackout. These were $19.99. I mean, $1 a round for 300 blackout, which I mean, that's pretty much normal for 300. 300 blackout never was a real cheap round to shoot, and now $1 a round is par for the course. Period. I don't care where you get it, what kind it is, or nothing. $1 a round is about the minimum you're gonna pay for 300 blackout now. So yeah, we got those. And that was it. That was all of the ammo for today. So not, like I say, you definitely can't call it a score. It was a little pickup, but it wasn't nothing I call a score. I call it an ammo score to me, unless you're getting ammo at pre-scam prices and you getting plenty of it. I mean, you can call it a score if you want to, but to me, that ain't nothing but just going buying ammo. So anyway, that's it for the ammo. But I'll be honest with you guys, I think it's getting ready to get even worse. Like, it ain't going to get no better, because a lot of places, just the manufacturer letter that they sent out, I forget who that was, Vista, whatever the group is that owns several of these ammo places. That's really not even kicked in yet, and that's going up. Prices are going up there for sure. I don't care what the place is. It don't matter. If the manufacturer's raising prices, they're not going to absorb it. The retailers ain't going to absorb it. So, I mean, what we're seeing now is a lot of it don't even include that. So, prices are going to go up, and it's going to be rough, man. You might see some ammo on the shelf. Well, you ain't going to see much on the shelf, period, for a long time, in my opinion. And now you got I'm going to touch on a couple of these little gun laws that's going on, gun stuff, but I don't want to beat this to death, because I know every YouTube gun tuber talks about the gun bills that are up, and half of these federal gun bills are absolutely ridiculous. Like HR 127 that everybody wanted to make a video out of. It wasn't even worth my time to do it, because that bill's going nowhere, man. That's one of Sheila Goofball Jackson's bills that she don't have a clue, nothing about guns. She makes bills out of total ignorance and trying to hype up the fear over guns. She didn't even have any of her own Democrats co-sponsoring that bill. Never has and never will. That bill's dead, period. It won't even make it anywhere. Now, what is a concern is old Crazy Joe, because I'm going to tell you what's happening, and I've said this for the past year. Man, I've been saying this. They are going to take our rights to guns and our access to guns away, not by banning things, but by the import laws. Those are going to be hit hard, man. So I know I said that before, but your 7.62 steel case Russian ammo is going to be chop, buddy. They are going to get those. And even this is, I think this stuff right here this is Czech Republic stuff. Any of the imported guns and ammo, I'm telling you, they are under the gun. No pun intended, but they are under the gun, buddy. And him coming out now is just more. And I'm gonna tell you, you can just see, if you just look and see what's going on, you can equate all of this back to them wanting to take rights away from you. This whole National Guard up in the Capitol business that's going on right now. Everybody's saying, what, there's no need. What's going on here? It's no secret to what's going on, man. That is prime time reasoning for them to say, we have got to have this. It's, look, we're under such, they're going to tell the public, we are under such danger from domestic terrorisms and right-wing radicalist groups. Domestic, we're being attacked from the inside. We're having to have thousands of guards to guard our own government. That's what they want you to believe, because that's going to be the reason that he's going to sign executive orders. And I can promise you, he's going to do this through executive order. He's going to sign executive orders on these guns. That's exactly what this is all setting up for. He's going to use that as a public health crisis and national emergency, and he's going to do it under executive order. Now, he's talking about banning assault weapons, what they call assault weapons, high capacity mags, which to them is anything over 10 rounds, and the imported weapons and ammunition, which all of that's par for the course. Yeah, we've heard that 100 times, but I'm going to tell you, the big one that you have to pay attention to is wanting to get rid of immunity of gun manufacturers and gun retailers. He wants to get rid of the immunity of them having, and he wants them to take the liability. He wants them to be responsible for anything any of us do with any weapons bought from them. That's where they're going to get us. Between that and the banks, I'm telling you, they don't have to ban anything. if they threaten these banks and all these financial institutes with cutting off their FDIC, cutting off their federal insurance, any kind of federal backing, any kind of federal assistance whatsoever to these financial institutes, and then on top of that, if they take away the immunity from from people suing gun manufacturers and gun retailers, then I'm going to tell you what, guys, they don't have to ban anything. If you're a gun retailer and you know that if you sell guns and however many transfers down the line, legally or illegally, if that gets into somebody's hands who's one of these nuts that goes out and commits one of these big shoot-up sprees, and they're going to be held responsible, they know they're out of business. They will be sued out of business. Do you really think for any amount of money that you throw in front of them, they're going to sell you a gun? Absolutely not. They would never. I don't care how much money. For any amount of money, nobody is going to sell you something that if you take it and use it improperly, they're going to be held responsible. Nobody. In any industry. It's just not going to happen. And the same with banks. Banks, there's no way. They're not going to fund. They're not going to approve these transactions. That's where they're going to get us, guys. Everybody's freaking out over these stupid, ignorant bills that these people are putting up. That ain't where it's going to come down, man. It's going to be the manufacturer liability and the financial institutes. That's where it's going to come down to us losing our gun rights. And that between that and the import thing. Now the assault weapon and the mags, they might get through. I mean, anything's possible, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. But they're trying their best. That's the whole National Guard thing. That's what all of this is coming down to. That's why they mysteriously find vans full of ammunition and assault weapons, but they never show you and they never tell you what it is. They're creating this narrative, and they know there's so many ignorant people in this country, they'll go along with it. So anyway, that's the federal side. That's where we got to worry about federal, is the liability. The liability thing and the imports, that's your main worry on federal. All this other crap, the Sheila and all these other goofballs that don't know anything about anything, that's all propaganda crap. Now, and I've said this before, your real worry, besides those couple of federal things, is your states. Like, even in Virginia, and if you're in Virginia and you're watching this, feel free. I mean, you probably should be calling or doing your emails. I send my emails all the time, but I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion, those emails and those letters and those calls, they're not doing a thing. I mean, some people can't stand it if they say something like that because you're not doing your part, but you're not doing nothing. You might as well take that letter and fold it into a paper airplane and sling it out in the woods. That's how much good that's doing, because the people you're writing those letters to are in one of two groups. They're either for gun rights or they're not. And there ain't no letter you can send them that's going to convince them otherwise. It's just never going to happen, because they know, they say, oh, well, they'll know they can be voted out. But here's the thing, 90% of them, 95% of them, they'll never be voted out. No matter how many anti-gunners don't like the pro-gun legislator, he's never going to get voted out, because his district is mostly pro-gun. That's why he's in there now. That's why they're in there now. So what makes you think the people that are pro-gun and have a pro-gun representative, what makes anybody in their right mind think that they would vote otherwise? And the other side is true too. Like us as pro-gun people, we have anti-gun legislators making these laws in Virginia right now. Who in their right mind thinks that the districts and where they're at, if no districting takes, and even if redistricting does take place, there's no way me sending a letter, or 10,000 pro-gun people sending a letter to this anti-gun nut sitting up there making these bills and laws, there's no way that's having any effect on them, because they're not worried about being voted out by us. And they know their constituents want what they want. That's why they're in office, guys. So I'm not telling you don't send these letters and emails, but what I am telling you is don't put much weight in it, because it ain't making no difference. That's just the bottom line. That's reality. It's time to face reality here. It's not giving up on the Second Amendment. It's not giving up on your rights. It's facing reality, man. The best thing you can do is get what you want now and prepare, man. That's what you can do, because you're not changing minds. You ain't changing changing minds in this country anymore. There's no coming together and healing. There ain't none of that, man. You got one people who has one set of rights and values and ideas. You got another side of the country that's got a whole nother set of ideas and values and what they want is rights. And that's the way it's going to be till the end of time, till we're all dead and gone, period. That's just how it is. You're not changing minds in this country. But anyway, Virginia's got several nasty gun laws it's been working through. I'll run through them if you're in Virginia. One of them, which is getting ready to get signed in by the governor after all the letters and emails we've sent over these months. Here's a perfect example. It didn't do a bit of good. HB 2128, instead of the 3-day waiting period now, if you guys know, most of the gun people know I'm talking for no reason, but in Virginia, and a lot of places have some kind of limit, but once you go and do your background check, your NICS check, you can have a delay, as some of y'all probably know. I've been delayed almost every time lately for no reason at all. I've got nothing on my record. I mean, nothing whatsoever, and it's always like 30 minutes to come back. But those are supposed to be instant background checks. Now, the law here in Virginia is after 3 days, if you're delayed after that 3rd day, that retailer can sell that gun to you regardless if the check came back or not. Now, if it does come back with something wrong after that 3 days, then you're supposed to turn the gun in, or you bought it illegally, whatever the case is. But the law in Virginia is they have 3 days to get that so-called instant background check done. After 3 days, you can buy that gun, period. They can't stop you on background. Now, there's some retailers who are just garbage, who don't like guns, period, who could do it on their own. But that's the law, 3 days. So we've had this bill 2128 going through House and going through the Senate. It's already went through House, all the committees. I won't bore you with this government mess, but if you've looked at anything, you know it's not just the House and just the Senate. They go through subcommittees, then to the House, then they go through another subcommittee, then to the Senate. They go through financial, ways and means committees, several committees, and then the House and Senate votes. Then it goes to the governor. Well, it's been through everything. All the committees, the House voted it in, the Senate voted it in, and that's going to the governor. And we've got a scumbag governor, Ralph Northern, who's a racist, garbage dirtbag, a pandering little weasel that's going to sign this 100%. And this law makes it now 5 days. And the problem is, the thing is here, it's all of these laws are solutions to where there's no problem. There's no problem. In 2020, there was not a single case of somebody buying a gun after that 3-day period and then having it come back after that 3 days where they would not have been able to legally buy that gun. So this is solving a problem that does not exist. It's nothing but stepping stones to little by little whittle away our rights to guns and eventually bring it all to an end. That's their end goal, for you to never own a gun. That's the big end goal. So there's one example. The next one here is a two-part. It's the Senate and the House, SB 1381 and HB 2295. This one's dealing with the Capitol Square in Virginia. So in Virginia, in a lot of cities, you got the Capitol building, and you got several little sub buildings where they do business and waste our money, basically. And then there's a whole, 2 or 3 blocks in the streets and the little parks and all that jazz. Well, right now in Virginia, it's illegal to carry guns in a courthouse. But just general government buildings, administrative buildings, any of that you can carry whatever you want in there as long as the courthouse isn't in there. Well, of course, this bill wants to get rid of carrying firearms in any area in that whole entire Capitol Square. Now, the original one, the House bill, the 2295, not only was it the buildings, but it was on the sidewalks, in the parks, outdoors. I mean, you're talking about multi-city blocks where they wanted you completely disarmed. So SB 1381 is the same. It's exactly the same, except of course they amended it. And here's another thing that really aggravates me are these politicians, even the ones that claim to be pro-gun, these pro-gun politicians, these pro-gun rights organizations, they will gladly deal away and barter away your rights and call it a win. They will gladly give in to this little bit and say, well, we couldn't get the whole thing, but we partially got something. You didn't partially get anything. All you did by bargaining with these clowns is you showed them that if we press hard enough and we put enough crap in these bills, then we'll get one or two of them every time. That's what bargaining with these people. There should be no bargaining. There should be no exceptions. There should be absolutely no give on any of these gun laws, any of them at all. But where I was going with that is one of them had been amended, so now both of them doesn't include the sidewalk. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing, but it's still banning them in government buildings, inside the Capitol Square grounds. It's absolutely ridiculous, and you'll get summaries of these from even these gun groups and say, oh, we got a partial win. You didn't get partial nothing. You got that much more of a loss, because now they see how weak you are and how easily you will give in to get one little penance back that means absolutely nothing. It really aggravates me bad to see that from the pro-gun politicians and the pro-gun rights groups. It really aggravates me. But that's with the second one. Right now, that's in the House. That's going to vote in the House. It's still in the House, but it'll go through. I'm just telling you. And if y'all states are run by mostly liberal, left-wing, gun-hating politicians, they're going to go through. So the next one, the HB 1909. Now, these are all Virginia bills, but you need to look at your own states, because I can promise you several of these things are going through process in your own state. HB 1909 wants to ban any kind of carrying in not just schools or school grounds, but any buildings used for their board meetings, the Board of Education stuff, any administrative buildings that are totally away from school grounds, no children involved, no nothing. They want to ban that stuff there. And here's another example of pandering and giving in. So, you know, originally it was banned. It was a felony. You couldn't have anything. They wanted, if you had any firearms and you got there, you had to unload them and leave them locked in your car before you came in or anything. So now they're like they've got a win here, because now we've gotten the wording to change, and we've gotten an exemption for concealed permit holders, that you can leave it in your car loaded, but leave it in your car. Give me a break, man. And also, well, it's no longer a felony. We've got it bumped down to a misdemeanor. Listen, man, that's not a win. Anybody who thinks that's a win is delusional, and they shouldn't be calling themselves pro-gun anything, because that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, man. That again is you're creating solutions to no problem whatsoever, and you're bargaining people's rights away. You are literally bargaining away gun owners' rights when you say, oh, we'll exempt concealed carry holders. Are you kidding me, man? And I'm saying this as a concealed permit holder for years. So I would be exempt, but you can't trade other people's rights. You can't, because people are going to then trade away your rights. When the shoe's on the other foot, it's perfectly fine for some people. And that's a terrible way to look at it. That's just awful way to look at it. But yeah, there's that one. That's another one that they bargained away and tried to call it a win. So 2084, I think, but they're all up there. This is another one. Creating a solution to no problem whatsoever. This one wants to ban any kind of carrying of any gun, open or concealed, within 40 feet of a polling place. This is, again, it's just nothing but little baby steps to take your right, because there's no problem involved with guns, shootings, violence in 40 feet of a polling place ever, period. Like, it just don't happen, man. They're whittling away at these little things to try to take your rights. But I'm dragging on along here. I get on a roll with this mess because it aggravates me. That's why I don't talk about it much. But the big one is HB 2276. This is the one banning 80% lowers, 3D printed guns, any homemade guns, any unserialized firearms. So a lot of people don't realize this, but in this country, and even law enforcement, and that's a whole nother subject, is ignorant law enforcement. But a lot of people don't realize that you are perfectly legal within your rights to go out here and make your own gun, period. Make your own gun. On a federal level. Now, some states have trampled the rights of people already, but if your state that hadn't already made the ridiculous law, you can go to Home Depot and get some pipe and make a shotgun. You can buy 80% lowers. You can print it. You can do whatever you want and make your own gun. Not only that, but you can actually sell that gun, transfer it, give it away, whatever you want to do with that. Some people think it's all, you can only make it, you can never sell it. That's not the case. You cannot make these guns with the intention of selling them. And, you know, you don't play dumb about it and say, well, I didn't really intend, when you actually did. If you legit bought your kit or made you a gun and you had no intentions of making them for sale, and then one day you 5 years, whatever the time, you don't shoot it no more, you don't really want it, and somebody's, you know, man, I'd like to buy that. If they're able to possess the gun, you know, you do your due diligence. You can sell them that gun. If you never had the intention of building that to sell, you can even sell these homemade guns. You can give these guns away. Right now, that's the way it is. Like, people need to educate themselves because some people don't even know this. But this law wants to take away, well, originally, here's another one where they're hemming and hawing and trading away our rights. Originally, it was all plastic guns, all unserialized guns, period, and all unfinished 80% receivers or frames. It prohibited owning, buying, selling, transferring, any of that to any of those items. And unserialized guns, homemade guns, 80% lowers, unfinished frames, unfinished lowers. It would prohibit all of that and make it unlawful and an instant felony. Well, now, this is in the Senate too. It passed through the House with flying colors because you know the House, most state houses are the worst of the worst as far as the leftist goofball gun grabbers. They're the worst, the House. But so it's gone. It passed through all of those with flying colors, all the committees. It's passed. Come out of the Senate committee. It actually got paused in the Senate committee because you got a couple of them realizing, wait a minute. I mean, because even sometimes they even realize this really don't make any sense. They're ignorant as can be, but they have a moment of clarity that's like, wait a minute, what is this crap? So it's having little problems there. So now they've changed it, reworded it here. It still includes unfinished frames. It still includes your 80% lowers. So now it's going to prohibit buying, selling, transferring, or intending to purchase all of those items. But of course, it's going to give you the grandfather clause, which like they love that grandfather clause because it's like the assholes are rewarding you. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, now it's going to allow you if you currently got one, you can keep it, transport it, and carry it still. But you know, no selling, no giving, no buying any more of them in the state. So there's your 80% lowers are gone. No more 3D printing them. No more making your own guns. Period. Of course, this is the Second Amendment, the second iteration of that, the second change to this bill, I should say. The first one that the gun rights groups were gushing about, they had gotten a win, exempted antique or pre-1968 guns. And they were happy about that. We got a partial win. You didn't get a partial win, man. You traded our rights away for some stupid little bit of nothing, man. That's what they did. They traded our rights away, and they're doing it every single day, man. That was the first change, and then now this change, which allows current people to keep theirs and transport and carry, but you can never buy another one. You can never give it away. You can never do anything with this thing. And they think that's another small win. No, it's not. It's another small loss. All of these are not small wins. They're small losses. Because in the big picture here, all of these things are stepping stones. If you can't tell me, if you got any sense in your head and you're against guns and you put this bill up and you come back and say, well, we had to let them keep the ones they got now, and old antiques or pre-1968 guns that nobody even shoots anyway, that hangs on the wall. We had to let them keep the ones they got now, but they can never buy any more. They can never give any away. They can never change hands. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's a win for you if you're anti-gun. That's 100% win. Because I'm gonna tell you, and you can use the Poly 80 instance. They went after door to door. They confiscated a couple Bible shoot kits. That's not going door to door mass gun confiscation. Let's just be real. Mass gun confiscation will never ever work in this country. It'll never happen. It will never be an effort to do that, and it'll never work. So they know. So this is all win to them because they know if you can't buy any more, and like I say, we're not going to comply. I'm not going to comply with anything gun right related. I'm not complying with anything ever for the rest of my life. Believe that. But commerce will comply. Commerce and law enforcement will comply with this. I don't care what your sheriff tells you. I don't care if you're a Second Amendment. Both the counties I live in own property in are Second Amendment sanctuaries. That means absolutely nothing. That means absolutely nothing. So we might not comply, but when laws like this happen, commerce will comply. And if you live in the state of Virginia and this law passes, you'll never be able to buy an 80% lower. You'll never be able to buy another one from online, in person, never again. Never again. Because commerce is not going to do it. Because then they're out of business. So it's just things like that to think about. And even though you might not, you say, I don't care about no 80% low. I don't need unserialized. It ain't about the unserialized, and it ain't about getting away with the gun. It's a hobby. It's enjoyment, and it's your right. That's the bottom line. It's your right. And so you can't, I'm not a hunter. I don't even own a bolt action gun. But I'll be damned if I would sit here and say, well, if I can keep my ARs, if bolt action guns are banned, I'll go with that. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? No way. Never, 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 never. You can never, as a gun owner and a 2A, if you believe in the Second Amendment whatsoever, you cannot compromise and you cannot give away your fellow gun owners' rights to keep yours. That makes you as bad or worse than the anti-gunners. In my opinion, it makes you worse. But that's my feeling on the gun. I'm not going to make big videos out of all these bills, and because it is what it is. You're not going to change it. You can sit here and we can fight it. You can fight it, but you're not going to change it. You're not going to change opinions of people in this country ever again, man. It is what it is, and if you can't see that, then I bless your heart because it's not going to happen. But anyway, I know I got long-winded. I don't know how long this video ran, but. You got to look at some ammo as you heard me rant anyway, but that was my little ammo score for today. I got, like I said, yesterday I went out to the range, done a lot of shooting, several different weapons, and I got some good stuff, good footage of it, so I got to get it all edited up. But there's my thoughts, guys. There's a little bit of ammo score, and that's my thoughts on all these gun laws. But the best thing you can do is get what you want right now and be prepared, because the worst thing ever is going to be 5-10 years from now, when you're sitting here and all these things have passed and all this stuff has been banned, and you're happy with what you got now, but the itch hits you all of a sudden. Man, I'd really like to have this, or I'd really like to have that, and you can't get it. That's gonna suck. That's really gonna suck. So, pay attention to what's going on in your state. Like I say, just so you'll know what to buy, not so you'll know who to email and call. By all means, do it. But the main reason you need to keep up with what's going on with these laws is to know what to buy if you can. Now, I'm not saying go out and spend your mortgage and lose your house to buy it, but look at the time frames, look at how long you might have, look at something that you might want somewhere down the line that just anything you think you might want that you think is going to be on the chopping block. Get it. I mean, if you can afford it, if you think you're ever going to want it, then get it, because it ain't getting no better. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. But anyway, again, there's my rants, a little bit of ammo, and I'm definitely going to have some good videos coming out in the next few days with some shooting. So that's what it's all about anyway, is getting out there and enjoying yourself. So at any rate, y'all just keep yourself prepared. You know what I always say, stay safe and stay prepared, and we'll see y'all soon.